Everyone knows about Omnisphere, but I don't see anyone using it these days. In this video, I'm going to show you why every producer should be making beats with it. Starting with 3 features you probably didn't even know it had. First, we have the orb. The simplest way I can describe it is like a random effects generator. I'm just going to click play, move this, and click the dice. Ooh, that sounds fire. It's like turn it into some keys. As you can see, the ball in the middle is moving around by itself randomly. That's what happens when you click the attractor button. And then this second slider controls the inertia. The inertia basically determines how fast and for how long the orb is going to be moving around. Second thing is the built-in phrases. The best thing I can compare it to is like a mini splice that you've got at your disposal. For example, we've got this whole folder full of mallet sounds. So what I want to do is turn this into a one-shot. First of all, I'm going to record it into Edison. Let's get rid of this end part. So now we have this one shot. I've got the chords copied in. I'm going to strum them out a little bit. I'm also going to add the delay to it. And now we've got this beautiful accent on top of our chords. And of course, you could also use the phrases in more of a typical way. For example, I've got this Chinese flute sound. The only problem is with these phrases, you need to bounce them out and stretch them and pitch them correctly because they're not tempo synced to anything inside Omnisphere. So I'm going to record it into Edison. After recording the flute, I found the tempo, chopped it up and added some chords underneath, leaving us with this. The third thing I want to talk about is the effects. So I'm going to bring up a sine wave again. I'm going to click the magnifying glass on the oscillator and straight away we've got all these effects brought up. But the main thing I want to talk about in this section is the granular effect. You can hear that really cool like detuning effect with the pitch grains knob. So if we turn that off, the sound is pretty basic. Turn it on. That's great as itself. That would be a really cool sound to start off your sample. But I want to use the arc to make a crazy texture for this loop. So let's set it to 16th notes is good. Let's go to up. I want to add 3 octaves in. When I make a texture for my samples, I like to set it to once. That way it's only going to hit once throughout the loop. That sounds cool, but we need to add some effects to make it really stand out. First one I'm going to add is a delay. Next I want to add another delay. If we come over here where it says drive, we click on it, we turn up the drive a little bit, and it's going to add a really nice crunch to the end of the delay. Next I'm going to add one of my favorite sounds in the amplifier section. It's the thrift shop speaker. So if we just turn the mix down, add some nice texture to it. And I'm going to add in the Juno sound with the granular effect on from earlier, just to give the texture a bit more depth. Now we need to test it against Analog Lab. To do this, I gave myself 30 minutes to make a beat with each VST, starting with Omnisphere. 3, 2, 1, let's go. I want to start off with a sine. I really just love the sine wave, and I want to turn the glide up, modulation, ultra chorus, spring reverb. And then let's add the B. Let's go to synths, profit maybe. That's nice. Just adds a bit more texture. Now for this one I want to go to samples and I want to choose a little phrase, but this turned out to be way harder than I thought. I tried one phrase, then another, but finally after wasting 5 valuable minutes we found something. Now that is fire. I recorded it, chopped it up and added some effects before quickly moving on to the next sound. And now let's find a flute. That's fire. I want to make like a synth arp to go on top of this. Whoa, that sounds like it's been run through Portal or something. We've got 11 minutes to do the drums. First I'm going to do a spins, but I want to make it short, so let's change the out knob. Let's do a section where the sample gets pitched down an octave. Ooh. $106 left and I think I'm done. This beat came out crazy and I especially loved the guitar phrases I added on top. However, I found myself wasting time due to a lack of familiarity with the VST. That being said, let's see how the Analog Lab beat turned out. So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. I tend to use a lot more presets than I would if I was using Omnisphere. I'm going to open Technicolor and just try and find something nice. I'm going to go into Layers Volume 2 and try and find a preset for some texture. Maybe this. I'm actually going to go into Technicolor because I think there's more ARPs in here. I was way ahead of schedule, so I added a quick 808 before carrying on with the melody. Let's put the pitch range up to 12. Let's create an automation clip for this. And just like that, the beat was pretty much done with 15 minutes to spare. For the remaining 15 minutes, I set myself a sound design challenge to really compare the two VSTs. Let's try and sound design something like we did in Omnisphere, but in Analog Lab, and compare the two, see how it fares. I want to find like a bell kind of sound, digital synth maybe a flute even. We need to turn on the ARP. I want to filter it. That's fire. That's nice, maybe a bit longer though. Only thing with this, I feel like it needs a bit more depth to it. It sounds a bit thin, so let's add a distortion to it. That sounds way better with the halftime. And then maybe we can make this unique and pitch it down an octave. We've got 7 minutes to spare. Honestly, there's not much more I can add to this beat. Let's just hear what it sounds like. I think the Analog Lab cookup went a lot smoother just because I know where all the good sounds are, and that allowed me to be more creative when manipulating the sounds. I genuinely think everyone should start using Omnisphere again. If you look beyond the overused presets, there's a great, easy to use synth hiding behind there. Let me know which VST is your favorite in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.